Dear married men, like I was saying in my last videos, there are so many do's and don'ts. Yes, as a married man, you need to observe. Yes, there are things that you need to start doing once you get married, and there are also things that you need to stop doing once you get married. And that was what I was talking about in my last video. So, in today's video, I am going to be continuing from where I stopped. I still have a lot to say to the married men. Yes. So what are some of those things you need to do, and also you need to stop doing once you get married? But before I begin, don't forget to subscribe to my YouTube channel. Also like and comment on my videos, very important. Thank you so much for that. So what are those do's and don'ts? As a married man, do not ever speak negatively about your wife outside, both inside and outside, but especially outside. How can you be in a get-together with friends, both male and female friends, and whenever you want to talk about your wife, you always say negative things about her? It is very bad. Do you know that whenever you're always speaking negative things about your own spouse, that you're actually bad-mouthing yourself? It shows how childish, stupid, like, people will be looking at you like, how can this man doesn't love his wife for him to be bad-mouthing his wife like this in public? That is what it shows. So when you're bad-mouthing your spouse, you're also bad-mouthing yourself, because you and your partner are now one. So you should mind the things you say about your partner outside. It's very important. You should be in the habit of always protecting your partner's image. Speak positive things about your spouse, even if they did something wrong. Don't say it in a very terrible way, or don't even talk about it outside in public, especially where other women are. It can be really bad. Yeah, it's something that can tarnish your spouse's image, which is not right at all. Once you get married, cut all contacts with your exes. All of them. Do not keep in contact with any of them. It's very important too, so you don't end up falling back into that same trap, that temptation. So you don't leave any opening for the devil to tempt you to go back to that person, so you don't end up destroying your marriage. If there is anybody that you had sex with, that you got intimate with in the past, cut all contact with them, no matter what that person is. If it's your neighbor, friend, classmate, whoever that person is, cut all contacts with all your exes, so that you can protect and enjoy your marriage. As a married man, you need to always learn to profess your love to your wife, anywhere and at any time. It's very important. Always learn to say and show how much you love your wife. As a married man, once any woman begins to make advances at you, and you've made it open to her that you're married and you don't want to cheat on your spouse and all of that, and she still continues, my dear, report that husband snatcher to your wife. Give your wife all the details she needs, the person's name, phone number, all the details she needs. Both of you should handle that issue. It's always better. As a married man, of course, you should be nice to your female friends, female church members, female colleagues, female neighbors, and all of that. But once you notice any bad move, become strict with that person. As a married man, have it in mind that thing you call enjoyment is just for a few minutes, but the repercussions can last for a lifetime, if not for eternity. So you have to be very, very careful. Do not mortgage your life because of few minutes of enjoyment, because of few minutes of orgasm. You have to be very careful. Don't allow the things that you have seen in other people's life to happen to you. Learn from other people's experience. There are so many people that their marriages, their life, their destiny has been destroyed because of few minutes of enjoyment, so-called enjoyment. As a married man, maybe before you got married, you love going to parties, you love clubbing, but please Once you get married, stop all that. Stop with all your partying and clubbing. All those night parties, all those things are not necessary anymore. You're now married. Why is this very important? Because clubbing and partying, it encourages sexual immorality. So if you truly want to be faithful, if you truly want to stay faithful, then avoid all those parties, night parties, avoid all those clubbing and all of that. It is very important. What I'm about to mention now is very hard for most men. In fact, it's almost impossible for some people self. But please, as a married man, avoid alcohol as much as possible. Yes. Even if you want to drink, don't drink it in excess. Don't drink the strong ones. And don't take it all the time. Avoid alcohol as much as possible. Please. This is for your own good. Because drinking alcohol will even make you lack sense of decency with women. You know all these things. It is really bad. Just avoid it as much as you can. As a married man, don't forget that STDs are real. And this sexually transmitted disease has destroyed a lot of homes. So many homes. In fact, I even heard of a man that contacted STD and gave to his wife. Now, that is not even the worst part. The wicked part is that this man was actually treating himself. He was on medication. And he didn't tell the wife. So he gave it to the wife. And it killed the woman. The woman didn't even know she had it. She thought it was maybe malaria or all these little illnesses. She didn't know. So now, just because of a few moments of pleasure, this man, he lost his health because he was on medication. He lost his wife. He lost his home. He lost a lot of money just because of few minutes of orgasm. Few minutes of the so-called enjoyment. We have to be careful. STDs are real. As a married man, don't begin to think that I'm a man now, all I need is just condom. Nothing there. My dear, what you need is not condom. What you need is good conduct. Yes. Discipline yourself. That is what you need. It's not condom. Because that condom that you're hoping on can break and can lead to a lot of things. The repercussion can be really bad. The shame, the disgrace, the heartbreak, the regret, it comes with a lot of things. But if only you can embrace good conduct, if only you can discipline yourself, it will save you a lot of things. As a married man, do not forget all those vows that you made to your wife, that you made to God on your wedding day. Learn to keep your promises. Learn to keep those vows. They are still very important. As a married man, there are some bad jokes you shouldn't be cracking. There's a kind of jokes you shouldn't be cracking with women. There's kind of flirty and immoral jokes. You know, jokes about sex. You're cracking that kind of joke with another woman that is not your wife. There's some kind of things you shouldn't even, say in the name of cracking jokes as a married man to another woman that is not your wife. Just be careful with these things. Don't be careless about your character. As a married man, no careless hugging. I'm not going to talk much on this. As a married man, avoid pornography. Yes, it's very important. Pornography can never satisfy you. Instead, it will even destroy your ability to resist sexual temptation. Pornography is bad for both the men and the women. Please avoid pornography. Pornography will keep you busy and still not take you anywhere. Avoid it as much as possible. As a man, when you want to get married, marry an accountability partner. Yes, marry someone that you can share your weaknesses with. Someone that you can tell anything, like anything. Once you know that thing, you'll be able to share it with your partner. Someone you can tell anything in the world. That is the kind of person you can marry. How can you get married to a woman that you cannot even share your weaknesses with? You are afraid of sharing your own weaknesses with your own wife. What kind of marriage do you intend to build? No matter what, no matter, you should be able to share your weaknesses with your wife. Marry someone that is accountable. It is very important. It will save you a lot of things. Because when you marry someone that you're not accountable to, especially with some certain secrets, it will make you to begin to share your secrets with friends, which is not supposed to. Your wife, your spouse is supposed to be your best friend. As a married man, be careful with your wife's friends. Yes, her female friends. Be careful with them. Don't get too attached. Don't get too close to them. Be careful with your housemaid. Be careful with the help. Don't get too attached. Let there be boundaries. Respect yourself. Teach her those boundaries in your home. There are some things you shouldn't do. Yes, there are some things you shouldn't tolerate from the help. There are some careless attitudes you shouldn't tolerate in your home from the housemaid. When a housemaid is beginning to make advances at you as a man, report. Shun that person first and report to your wife immediately. And also, you as a man, don't make advances towards the help. As a married man, don't always put yourself in the position to always be the type of person that is always counseling vulnerable women. Yes, even if they're your friends, you can counsel them, especially face to face. Like, you always, once any of them call you, maybe your female friend call you, you're always in the habit of always putting yourself in the position to go and advise, counsel vulnerable women about sex, about their sex life. Are you a counselor? Even if you're a counselor, there should be boundaries. There should be mode of operation towards that your business, since it's your occupation. So we have to be very careful, because you can always, if you're in the habit of always putting yourself in the position of a counselor, you can actually put yourself into temptation. Because when you're always talking about sex with a particular woman, it can lead to something else. As a married man, increase the rate of SDA in your marriage. Secret display of affection. Yes, whenever you get to spend time, or whenever you're with your partner, always be in the habit of displaying affection. Show how much you love your spouse. Hold hands, kiss, crack jokes together. All those things. I mean, it's just the both of you. Everything about love should be displayed. It's very important. As a married man, always be in the habit of displaying FDA, family display of affection. Learn to love your children, learn to love your wife. Most importantly, learn to show how much you love your wife in the presence of your children, in the presence of your housemaid, in the presence of your friends, in the presence of all those that live in your home, to help you to strengthen your marriage. And also, learn to display and increase the rate of PDA in your marriage, public display of affection. Yes, be the man that always know how to be caring and loving towards the wife, especially in public. Yeah, I'm not saying you should overdo it. Don't be childish about it, of course, but learn to do it in a very matured way, as in always be in the habit of be loving and caring towards your wife in public. It's really nice. As a married man, don't forget that you're not just a husband, but you're also a lover boy. Learn to break unbreakable bonds in your marriage. Don't forget that dating is not just for single guys and single ladies that want to get married. You can also date your wife even as you guys are married. Yes, learn to take your wife on dates. Add all these things to your schedule. Learn to do things that will always spicing up your marriage, that will always keep the bond in your marriage. These things are very important. And finally, for today's episode, as a married man, before you even think of cheating, count the cost. Yes, count the cost of unfaithfulness, count cost of adultery. When you count the cost, you will understand that it is not worth it. There is nothing as good as you being faithful and remaining faithful in your marriage. it will save you a lot of stress, a lot of pain. So we've finally come to the end of today's episode. It has really been a long one. Yes. And that is all I have to say to the married men in the house. Hope you enjoyed it. If there's anything you think about today's video and the last video as well, kindly drop it in the comment section. So that is all I have to say for today's episode. Thank you so much for watching my video today. Thanks so much for listening. Don't forget to subscribe to my YouTube channel. Also like and comment on my videos as well. Thank you so much for watching. See you in my next episode.